let's go back to the design, usability, and production key processes. Where design and usability is concerned, typically, if you do it right, you do it once in product development, and production begins with prototyping, transfer to manufacturing, and continues through post-market until product obsolescence. As you can see on this slide, I've already started extracting some of the pertinent data from the center. So now let's go ahead and take a closer look at this data. Keeping in mind the simplified definitions of safety and performance that we just went over, let's not forget that we need to prove both safety and performance, but also by taking into account state of the art. So starting with our device under evaluation, for performance, we are well familiar with verification validation testing during product development, summative evaluations for human factors, and test method validations and or process validations for production. Also, where performance of SOTA is concerned, harmonized standards are a good place to start. As an industry, we have a good understanding and appreciation of these performance standards like ISO 10993, for example, and we ensure that these standards guide us in design and development. It is common for these standards to help us formulate robust design input requirements, set objective acceptance criteria for our verification tests, and in some cases, they even tell us what test method to follow. For safety of our device, we are all very well familiar with the FMEA approach and its method of analyzing effects of each individual failure modes. We know we have to implement effective risk controls to reduce risk, and 14971 and EU MDR clearly state that designing the risk out is the best risk control and should be considered everywhere possible. So far, so good. Things seem pretty straightforward. But now they do start getting a little challenging when it comes to assessing what is considered as an appropriate benchmark or safety profile for state of the art. And the method that we are going to suggest today is resource intensive, but very likely to bear multiple fruits. So let's take a look at this next. Before we go into the why, I would like to share something with you first. I don't know about you guys, but the first time when I read the requirement, reduce risk as far as possible, I was stumped. Of course, I understood the intent of the law, but the letter of the law surely confused me. While the intent is clear that we should implement all effective risk controls and make a genuine effort to reduce risk, as an engineer, I troubled myself by taking it too literally and wondered how I will objectively prove that risk is reduced as far as possible. What I have now come to understand is that there are cases wherein it is not clear that risk is reduced as far as possible, or if certain risk controls can further impactfully reduce risk. And in those cases, it helps to know what the industry baseline is. And if we can strike a comparison with the industry baseline, it helps make an argument that risk is acceptable, taking into consideration the generally acknowledged state of the art. Second, and this is somewhat follows the first, if we do number one right, we get to claim compliance with a couple of ISO 14971 and EU MDR requirements specific to reviewing similar devices in post-market.